Hello and welcome to another episode of the Dribble Me Softly podcast, the podcast that you didn't know that you needed to know. How are you both?
Good, thanks, Benny. How are you?
Good, living the dream. Dylan?
Good, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, pumped.
Heck yeah, that's so much more energy than last week.
Yeah, no sadness this week, no sadness.
Why, Arsenal didn't play during the week?
Don't know what about. Let's keep the momentum going. What's on this week?
Yeah, good question. Plenty to get through. A few games to cover in the Premier League, including Unai Emery's first 0-0 draw in the Prem. Can you believe that? We'll talk about that. Also a bit happening across Europe. Real Madrid taste success in the Spanish Super Cup final, in an El Clasico final as well. We've got your standard edition of Debate Me Softly and lots of transfer trash to talk through in today's episode.
Trash,
because it is trash. It's transfer trash.
Cool. All this and more coming up next. So, gentlemen, how good is ...
Football.
How good is football?
Do you know who makes football look really good?
Who?
And really effortlessly? Just makes the game look so easy.
I know.
Your hands up, Dylan. Who?
Kevin De Bruyne.
How good? Let's start.
Was that right?
You were correct. You get one point.
What a cameo, eh?
Mate.
68th minute sub, 73rd minute goal. Fucking what minute did they score in? 92 or something?
91st, yeah.
91?
Yeah.
What an assist.
That
There were actually 5 really good goals.
Yeah. The game was sick to watch.
Yeah.
Beautiful hair.
Yeah, the hair.
Oh.
It's a lot of hair.
He looks so good with this
Yeah.
new hair of his, yeah. I'm
He's
loving it.
He's like one of those. You see it most in like the NBA. You know, when like maybe they may be past their like physical prime, but they've just seen everything, so they've sussed it out. You know, where they're just operating on a different level.
Yeah.
He come on and it's just like, oh, this is child's play.
Honestly, it's like he'd been playing a 90-minute game yesterday, not however long he'd been out for. Right? He just came on and seamless.
Yeah, it was pretty much immediate impact within the first 5 minutes of being subbed on.
Well, how did it lead to all of this anyway? Because Man City scored first.
Man City did score first. Bernardo Silva
It was a good goal.
was a good goal in the 26th minute. But then Newcastle fired back pretty quickly like after that.
And the goals
Yeah.
identical as well.
They were down the
Literally,
left-hand side.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how much fault Kyle Walker was to, like, how to blame he was for those two. They were jamming. They had that field wide open on the left there.
Yep.
And then Isak, solid finish, actually.
Love it.
I
It was a
gave him a
great
bit of shit
finish.
earlier in, like, one of the episodes, but that was a solid finish. And then 2 minutes later,
Yeah, literally 2 minutes later, Anthony Gordon.
I don't think they expected him to take the shot there because there was two defenders in front of him, but he just went right through the middle of him, of both of them, and then Cad came off, so
Yeah.
Ortega was in goal for those.
At that moment, St. James Park was absolutely rocking.
Yeah.
Far out.
And at that stage, 2-1,
two
yeah?
massive goals, yeah. Huge. And it was 2-1 at half time, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. And then KDB comes on.
that was such a strange goal of his because like he's running to the left, but he almost like shifts his body to the left a bit more and opens up his right
Yeah.
foot and just literally passed the ball into the goal,
It's insane, man.
left corner.
It's just outrageous, isn't it, to be that
Yeah.
good? And like not even to panic and, well, you know, see the opportunity and snatch at it. Just
Yeah.
try and thump it. It's just, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like watching someone play five-a-side.
Well, that's the thing. Like, the game probably goes by in slow motion for him. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like
Yeah.
you've seen every like pattern of play, so everything's like slower and just comes more natural to you. You don't have to think about it, it's second nature. So it's just like, oh.
and to that point, his ball to Oscar Bob, 91st minute of the game to win the bloody game.
First of all, the ball, insane. To pick that ball out.
Only 2 people in the league can play that ball. Kevin De Bruyne and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Honest to God.
Trent can play a ball like that, yeah.
The only 2 people in the league who can play that
Yeah.
ball.
Put it on a dime.
Literally. And the finish.
The finish was elite. The way he sorted his feet out is insane. How old is that guy? 20? 21?
Yeah.
Young Norwegian fella.
It was just beautiful goal. But the Newcastle fans must be fuming.
Yep.
You know, he's 20 years old, by the way, Oscar Bob.
Yeah. Solid finish.
City's title now.
What makes you say it? City's title?
Just
KDB?
KDB. You know, Doku's still to come back.
Yeah.
We said all these things, you know, earlier in the pods and earlier this season with Rodri being out. We kind of discounted the fact that KDB was out as well.
That is true, but let's see how they go if Rodri is out with KDB in. I'm not saying that he's still KDB, right? But
there's a long way to go.
Rodri plays a very important role in that team as the holding midfielder, which allows the likes of KDB to express himself, you know, further down the pitch.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's just one of those things. You kind of like, they've had their blip. Maybe this is it. It's a classic Man City thing, isn't it? They do they fart us around for one part of the season. Second half comes in, they're like, oh yeah, we fancy this.
Yeah.
It just, personally, I just think if Liverpool have a blip, then I think Man City might be there to pounce. But I don't know. It's between those two. I even say that there's 5 points between them and fifth. So they're like Liverpool and Spurs.
Tottenham. Yeah,
I'm not going to panic.
It'll be a very big clash whenever you guys play them next.
Yeah.
I think it's in March or something like that.
Can we go to the casino for it?
Why not?
Hopefully it's a good time for us.
Probably not.
Probably won't be. Liverpool versus Man City is never at a good time for us.
No, there never is it? Or unless they put it on at lunchtime.
Unless they do a 9:30.
Yeah, it's 2 a.m.
Yeah.
That's not bad though. It's not the worst. It's Sunday 2 a.m. So it's like Saturday night.
Yeah.
At least you could stay up for it.
Will you smoke bomb us?
Yeah, probably. At halftime.
Just Dylan and I sat in the casino.
Yeah. 2:45's cut off.
Oh, how funny. Look, I don't know if it is City's to lose City's title to lose yet. There's still such a massive part of the season to go, you know?
Still 18 games left,
yeah,
right? So
exactly right. City do have the game in hand as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, one thing to note. Well, I do feel for Newcastle because if KDB wasn't on the pitch, they'd probably win that game.
You reckon?
I think so, yeah. At 2-1 at half time, they were looking good. I don't know if City... I'm not saying City weren't looking good, but I don't know. Could have been a different result, you know?
Yeah. Well, we just touched on fifth. Man U and Tottenham played...
Earlier this morning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see any of it? Either of you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched the highlights.
Yeah.
It's nice to see Hoolin score. That was well taken.
That was a good goal.
He's got a killer left foot on him,
Yeah.
hasn't he? Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely gave it.
And then even Richarlison's header was pretty solid.
And then Rashford scored as well.
Yeah.
Tell you
Rashford
what,
did score.
this is the fixture for if you haven't scored a goal in however long, bloody play this game here.
I think Tottenham should have really won that, to be honest. I'm still not convinced by Man U.
I was going to ask you, who's the happier to take the point?
Man U.
Yeah. Because in the second half, albeit I did only watch the highlights, in the second half, United looked shocking.
When don't they? They're just a counter-attacking team, aren't they?
And I think that's probably the thing that most United fans are bitter about. You're playing a top 6 team at home, right? Why would you want to play this counter-attacking, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, right?
No.
You want to go there with a game plan because you're playing at home to win the bloody game.
Yeah, and then the thing
to
is,
play
as
aggressive football, Ben.
Well, actually, years gone by though, isn't it? Really? When was the last time we've seen Man U play aggressive on the front foot football? Because I actually can't remember at this point.
No, I genuinely do not remember the last time. If Tottenham have a full strength team, they walk into Old Trafford today, they steamroll through United and they take the 3 points and go back to London.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Prime example is the equaliser for Spurs. So it ended up 2-2 and Bentancur just waltzed into the box. It was like well taken, but that was like a hot knife through butter.
It was like 30 seconds into the half.
Literally, yeah, exactly right.
Like, do you learn anything? No, apparently not.
Timo Werner with the assist.
Wow, sign him up. Get him on a permanent contract and just move Son into a holding mid or something.
He tried a very inventive finish there with like a little pull over his shoulder, but it didn't come off. But we'll see how he goes, Timo.
Appreciate the effort from him.
There were some Spurs fans that were saying, his time at Chelsea didn't go to plan, but neither did Mo or De Bruyne's. And I was like, please, that's a fucking reach and a half.
That is an absolute reach. Jesus Christ.
Maybe this is something we should do some research in, is like how many people have gone through the graveyard or have been resurrected from the graveyard that is Chelsea Football Club. Because there's some decent footballers that have like whiffed there but done very well afterwards, like you just mentioned those two.
Yeah, I think every number 9 since Didier Drogba.
Yeah, we could do like an episode on Lukaku and his
Yeah, you
misses.
could probably put Lukaku in.
Yeah. But it is interesting that you say that because in recent years, the same can be said about United.
Yeah,
You know, it's kind of like a graveyard for players, right? I mean, I think we've seen that with so many players. And then you look at the likes of Jadon Sancho, and we'll touch on it in a second, who gets an assist on his first game back for Dortmund.
We'll talk about that in a little while, but
Yeah.
we'll talk about the funny comments as well from the Dortmund CEO. While we're on the subject of Chelsea, they played this weekend as well. They beat Fulham 1-0 at home.
I think that was their fourth home Premier League win in a row. First time since about May or March 2021.
I've got something for this.
Well done, Chelsea.
Does Cole Palmer only score penalties? Like, fuck.
Cold Palmer, mate.
Cold Palmer.
I hate that celebration.
You hate it?
Yeah, but I think like once it's been done several times, I hate most celebrations.
Fair enough.
It's like the FIFA thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just death by. But that was a pretty boring game. Though,
I tell you what, he is bloody clinical from the spot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Boy doesn't miss.
Pretty sure they played him out in the wing this game, didn't they?
And also, the pass that he played in to Sterling, which drew the penalty, was a cracker ball. I think it was said over commentary, he's probably their best recent signing in years.
Yeah.
Cole Palmer, yeah.
You'd have to say that.
Who out of them in United are going to get their shit together first?
Chelsea.
I'd say I'd have more money on Chelsea too.
Yeah.
They just have more options.
Stronger team,
though.
better manager.
Isn't it crazy? They spent all that money. They still need a decent keeper. They still need a better centre half. They still need a striker. And Cuckoo is injured again.
Yeah, I did see that.
Did say that too.
Yeah, he's probably needs a hip replacement or something.
Poor fella.
Yeah, like
Can't catch a break.
Turbo Todd hasn't been heard from in a while. Todd Bowley. It's a bit
Yeah,
quiet.
they've gone quiet on his end.
But that is a good win for Chelsea, albeit.
Yeah, well, we couldn't fucking beat them, so
Yeah.
You mean Fulham?
yeah.
That is true. And Chelsea now sit 9th on the table.
Onwards and upwards for Chelsea.
It is. 2024 is looking hella bright, isn't it?
How about Newcastle in 10th?
Yep. But I say it on the podcast week in, week out. Injuries.
Yeah, it's fair. It's been pretty horrific for them.
It has been.
But then also, WWEFC, you do wrestler moves, you get hurt.
Gee, they're 11 points off the
Let
top
it go,
four.
buddy. Let it go.
Yeah, I
No,
can't
no,
wait
I'm
for
just
them to
fucking
come
around.
to the Emirates. I hope we batter them, eh?
That'll be the one game we'll score goals. That'll be it. And then
No, we only do that in training.
Yeah, true.
That's why
Yeah.
we can only post training vids. Our fucking January goals will be like from training. Goal of the month, Reece Nelson in Dubai or some shit.
Struan sent me this video of Reece Nelson absolutely like scoring this brilliant goal, dribbling in like this packed box. And it's just like the ultimate looks shit hot in training but can't do fuck all on the pitch player.
Terrible.
That summarises Arsenal Football Club.
All right, let's swiftly move on.
Swiftly.
Yeah. Let's talk about something fun. A fun 0-0.
Yes. Everton, Aston Villa.
Whoa. Well, you alluded to the stat in the intro.
I sure did. It's his first ever nil or draw in the Premier League, and it took him 97 games, Ben, to achieve such a feat.
Imagine if he goes on a run of 0-0s or something.
That would be great in terms of where they are on the table.
Yeah. Bit of a crazy game, though.
Yeah. What do you reckon? Who again, same question. Who's happier to take home a point?
Could have been either side, to be fair. Martinez made two brilliant saves. I know
Pickford
that-
actually had a good save too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could have went either way, but I don't know. Everton, I don't know how that wasn't a penalty. Have you seen?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it wasn't even reviewed by VAR.
On Diaby, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the craziest thing, Ben. It wasn't even checked
No.
by VAR.
I don't know why. I haven't looked up as to why that wasn't the case.
Is that the one that McGinn put wide just after it? I think it is.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But then saying that, when VAR, because Moreno scored a quality goal which was
Offside.
disallowed. Do you know how long it took VAR to
No.
assess that? Over 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, well.
It's ridiculous.
It's just like,
Yeah,
do you
it's
reckon they were like, oh fuck it, can we really bothered to review this? We're already under enough scrutiny. Just leave it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what the logic was there. Sorry, the answer to your question, I think they're both probably happy with that. Maybe Everton a bit more, just considering where Villa are on the table. Everton might also be facing more points being deducted. I just heard that on a pod earlier.
I saw that.
I did see something about that.
And someone else. Was it like Luton or something?
Oh, I hadn't heard that one.
I don't know if it's a points deduction, but there was some article I saw, and it was 2 teams, and one was Everton.
Oh, yeah, it was something on Optus Sport. God, Nottingham Forest. Which makes sense because they bought like 20 players last season. The summer before last.
What, when they bought like Lingard and... Oh, no, he was on loan, wasn't he?
No, they bought him. They had him for a year. I can see that. Now you can start to see why it's a bit quieter, this transfer window. Well, obviously Arsenal can't do anything because they're worried about financial penalties. Man U are the same. It seems to have kind of worked, whatever they're doing now. But they just need to make sure they're going to be consistent. Man City, for instance.
I know, right?
But, money talks.
Money does talk, unfortunately, in this football world that we live in.
Let's pivot to the last Premier League game then.
Just before you do, I'm just having a look at the table. Everton Football Club conceded 28 goals so far this season. It's actually the 4th best defensive record in the league.
Daesh, baby.
After Liverpool at 18, Arsenal at 20, and City at 23.
Not bad going, is it?
Sorry, make that 4th. They're 5th best, and Aston Villa have 27 goals conceded.
They're not bad. They're consistent.
That back 4 is doing a job this season. And again, you take the 10 points, put it back onto their total, and they would be sitting in 12th place.
Pretty good season for them, to be honest.
I think anything better than trying to fight for survival on the final day of the season, like to have the last 2 leagues or last 2 seasons in a row, would be good for them. But fortunately, they're still sitting in the 17th place, to your point, Ben, with potentially further points to be deducted. So it doesn't look good.
Maybe, but look at the teams below them. The only one that I'd maybe be concerned about would be Luton.
Yeah, funnily enough.
And they drew against Burnley the first fixture of this match week.
True, but they've proved that it's a tough place to go to Kenilworth Road this season.
Yeah, well, they'll just kick the shit out of you as well.
What do you think about that goal?
What, the
Luton goal? The keeper contact. What do you think about that?
How is that not given?
You just don't see, you could say the keeper might have initiated contact. I don't think he did. The Luton player sort of ran into him and turned a bit. But you never see a keeper go down and then they let it go. They always bring it back. And in the 92nd minute, equaliser, surely they don't allow that goal. But anyway,
do you reckon it's the way the goalkeeper went down?
Do you reckon he carried on a bit? I thought he sort of just...
I don't know. I think the slow-mo made it look a bit worse.
Maybe.
I agree with you. The slow-mo made it look worse than what it was.
Because it looked like you mentioned with the initiating contact kind of thing, and then all at the same time.
Yeah.
It just looked a bit unnatural the way he went down. But then slow-mo does that, doesn't it? It depends on what angle. But I first of all,
makes everything look bad, right?
That's true.
Because I think that win would have taken Burnley on above
I would have
Luton.
Taken equal, maybe, I think.
Yeah, equal. You're right.
That's not bad considering we've questioned how has Vincent Kompany got a job.
Yeah, poor Vincent, man. The guy was just going to pull off a home win. And
do you see the thing where he apologised for his celebration for their goal? And then I watched the video of him celebrate. It wasn't it wasn't really that much in it.
He was carrying on.
Yeah, it's all right.
Didn't need to apologise.
Can you believe that he was the player that lifted the Premier League the year that they won it for City? The Aguero crazy final minute goal. He was club captain.
A long time ago, right?
He was club captain.
Lifetime ago.
Yeah. I have a question for you. The score was 3-2. Obviously, Aguero scored. Edin Dzeko also scored. Who was the other City player to score a goal that day?
It was Balotelli. No, it wasn't Balotelli.
No,
It's his first assist, wasn't it? It wasn't Kompany, was it?
No.
Was it a?
It was a defender.
Another defender. Was it Kyle Walker?
No.
Mika Richards.
Kyle Walker was at Spurs or wherever the hell.
Was he back then? True. Yeah, shit, he would have been. It would have
Zabaleta.
been... Correct.
Wow.
It was Pablo Zabaleta.
He was great. He was a great fullback.
Think about how hard it took you to remember that goal, right? Because everyone only remembers the Aguero moment.
To be fair, that's fucking iconic.
Yeah, of course.
I can actually remember the detail where I was when that happened.
As do I.
Yeah.
Which is funny. It's one of those moments, where were you when it happened moments.
Yeah, exactly. I still remember. So I'm going to tell it anyway because it's funny.
Yeah, go on. Absolutely.
So in this pub in the UK, they had screens either side. So there's a big bar in the middle. There's 2 sections. One section had the Man U game on. One side had the Man City game on.
Yep.
And the Man U game just finished first, but there's only a minute or so in it, wasn't it? So everyone from one side, so everyone's trying to stick their head over and have a look at either game, and then that one ended, so everyone's like kind of like trying to bundle
Peering
in
to the
and
other
like
end.
have a look at this other screen, and then obviously that's happened and the whole place is just erupted.
Yeah, at
So
that stage
cool.
it would have been good to just see United fucking lose the league. Like
Oh.
no one would have cared.
Oh,
It's not like City
100%.
now.
I
Yeah.
remember how excited I got
yeah,
when that moment happened.
yeah.
It was also one of those ones where you just like, it's the narrative behind it as well, like the story, you just don't expect it kind of thing, so you're just like, fuck, that actually happened.
They deserve it. They fucking beat United 6-1 that season.
Yeah.
Pumped them with the Balotelli "Why always me" moment.
Yeah,
Iconic, literally
Oh,
iconic.
Balotelli.
One idiot that guy is. But let's move on. What else has happened around Europe? Let's get out of the Premier League.
Let's do that. We had the Spanish Super Cup final. It was El Clasico, Madrid versus Barcelona, held in Saudi Arabia. Interesting place to hold a final of the Spanish Super Cup. How much did Saudi pay for that?
40 million.
Which is pocket change to
It's
the Saudis.
probably more than that too. That's probably the known figure.
Yeah. Think about how big that game is. El Clasico Super Cup final. It's huge.
It's not the Super Cup of before, like the El Clasico of before. Have you seen the highlights of this or any of the game?
Yeah.
What
It
was
was
your
a
thoughts?
Vinicius hat trick, wasn't it? He scored a hat trick.
It was.
Yeah. I agree with you. There's nothing like, everyone would like wake up and watch an El Clasico. We don't really care that much about
Yeah, but that's also because it peaked in that.
Messi.
Yeah,
Right? No, that
correct.
is true.
But I think if it was close, it would be much more enjoyable or much more exciting, because that was men against boys. Madrid made it look so easy. They didn't really have to try that much. Some like nice football. Bellingham actually played very well as well. Vinicius took his goals well.
Hit
Yeah.
the Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lewandowski scored a very good goal actually for Barca. But Madrid just are happy to sometimes sit there and soak it up and just go through people.
And the possession speaks to that, Ben. 42 to Madrid and 58 to Barcelona.
Madrid honestly are so comfortable off the ball.
Yeah.
And yeah, the Rodrigo goal, it could have been more than that, honestly. It makes you wonder, that Barca has spent all that money and now I think Xavi's asking for more as well. Like, what's going on there?
It's an interesting one. Ever since Messi left, it almost feels like they have fallen off a cliff, right? They just haven't been the same. Also, I'm not sure about you guys, but to me, it almost feels like the aura and the prestige around Barcelona kind of also has now faded away because Leo Messi is no longer at the club.
Maybe, but maybe it's like since they wasted all that money on Coutinho, it hasn't really like worked out for them.
Yeah.
You could go back as far as that. They've been kind of struggling since.
Which is funny because that transfer was ultimately the start of our success.
When they got him, that's the end of the tiki-taka, really. Iniesta retired.
Yep.
Xavi had gone by then himself.
Yep.
It's just like that since then it's been the identity is gone, and I think they might have thought that bringing Xavi back would instill that again and bring that
Yeah, see,
brand of football.
it's interesting because at that time you either go for a manager who's done it all in Europe and somebody who's a known entity, but they didn't do that. They went with somebody who's a bit of an unknown entity, obviously known to them because of the history with Xavi in the football club. It's not like he's managed at an elite level.
No, he was,
Right.
he was in the UAE before that,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Correct.
Qatar or something.
Yeah, right. You talk about Barcelona, and when you think about Barcelona, you associate them with success, but yeah, it just hasn't been the case in recent years for them.
Well, if we step away from the Super Cup, they're fourth in the league, in
Yeah.
La Liga.
Yep.
8 points. They're 8 points off Girona. Have played one more game than them. They drew, by the way, this week.
They
0-0.
did.
Yeah. Then you've got Madrid with a game in the hand, a point behind Girona, or Girona.
Girona.
Then you've got Athletic Club, who also won. Seville down there. They beat Seville, I think. Who are down in 17th. But it's just kind of like, and then there's Barca. Like from the bits and pieces that I watch of the Liga, I can't sit there and say I don't disagree with that or think, wow, Barca are gonna turn it on and climb all the way back up there.
Yeah, with the current manager, I don't see it, Ben.
Then it begs the question, who would they get?
Yeah.
Do you reckon Pep would ever go back there?
You never know. Football's funny like that. You never know. Right?
Just they're not enough money there anymore for him.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
I don't think
too.
unless he goes to Newcastle, he ain't going to get money like he got at City.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
He ain't going to Newcastle, let's be honest.
Do you reckon that makes the case? You know, he's flirted with the idea of doing international management.
Yeah.
Do you reckon the reason why is because if you don't have a club with the financial resources, you can go to a national team that may already have the talent, like what's up and coming with Brazil or France's team's mega talented. Spain's youth team, like some coming.
Spain
through.
are going to be good in 4 years' time. They have such young talent.
So would it make sense that he becomes the Spain manager at some point?
It's a good shout.
He has said that he would like to manage like in a tournament style.
Surely he has ambitions of winning the World Cup as a manager. Surely.
It's the only thing left, isn't it?
To seal his legacy, that's it. That's the one thing that's missing on the trophy cabinet.
Completed it.
At that point, literally completed football.
Maybe that's what Ancelotti was thinking when he kept flirting with the Brazil manager job.
There's not many managers who go the other way, from international to club.
Such a tougher gig managing in a league. It's just like there's no days off really.
Yeah, you're right. You're always on the go.
Or where like you even if there's no tournaments, you are planning. I don't think it's as cutthroat.
Yeah.
It's like you can't take a week off in the Premier League. How long in the season do you get off? It's like 2 months and then you're back.
Yeah, and even then...
that's pre-season and stuff as well, and planning and all sorts of stuff.
Pre-season's no walk in the park for a lot of teams, right? They go through pretty intense training.
Well, let's move on to the Germans.
Yes.
Full slate of games in the Bundesliga.
Love to see it.
What's happened?
Bayern won 3-0. I think Musiala had 2 and old mate Harry Kane back on the score sheet.
I'm shocked to see Harry Kane score.
Aren't we all?
What's his tally now?
Oh.
Because he was he had scored like 18 in his first 12.
I remember seeing something over the weekend where he's exactly the same point as where Lewandowski was when he got the record. Same goals. So
it's insane.
Yeah.
Also, Musiala's a freak too.
He's unreal, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yep.
He is so good. Harry Kane scored. Yeah. What's his tally? Is anything coming up? Let's have a look.
It just says like equals record, but I think they're still behind Leverkusen. Leverkusen won.
But they have a game in hand. So I think they're 4 points behind, but they have a game in hand.
Oh yeah, because the snow game.
Yeah.
That is correct, yeah.
So I think Leverkusen are 45. They had a late winner, 94th minute against... I forgot.
Memory's fading.
It was Venezia.
Okay.
Harry Kane's got 22 goals.
Sorry, it was not. It was
Augsburg.
Yeah, correct. There you go. Augsburg.
Thank you, that's cancelled.
So they're continuing where they left off, old Leverkusen.
Still remain undefeated.
That's insane.
They are the only team in Europe's top 5 leagues to remain undefeated.
I wonder how you'd feel about it, winning the Europa League and then going... Or they'd have to win the other German Cup as well, I guess. But not winning the Bundesliga, but remaining undefeated for the year. I wonder how you'd feel.
I don't know. I think the league's probably the one that they want the most. If they were in the Champions League, it's probably a different story. Given where they are on the table, you only really get one shot at this. You know?
Yeah, it seems like it, doesn't it? Because then Bayern just do their thing. They'll reinforce. They'll buy everyone decent. And
they'll just buy their manager. That's what's going to happen.
That is probably the
sad
next
reality.
inevitable signing from fucking the Bundesliga. They just take everyone they want, don't they? Considering he played there, it's not like a...
Exactly, yeah.
There's a
That's the
connection,
thing. There's a
right?
connection.
That's interesting. We had Stuttgart lost and so did Leipzig below them, creeping up in 5th, Dortmund.
Yep, they had a big win.
They did have a big win, and guess who got an assist?
Jadon Sancho.
Did you see?
They did post a lot of content about him coming back, how he's smiling, coming on a flight. It's good to be back, all this, that. So
he's home.
It's good that he's somewhere where he feels comfortable, and I think that's a really important piece if you're going to be performing consistently, right? You need to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And I don't know how he felt at United, but...
The opposite of comfortable.
Yeah.
Did you see the comments that the Dortmund CEO made as well afterwards, saying that Sancho has no discipline problem at all? I have no idea who invented the story, but he also did go on to mention he may be just a little bit late sometimes.
Okay.
Just a little bit late sometimes. So basically what you're saying, Ben, is he had discipline problems.
Yeah.
Which is bad behaviour, mate.
Oh, no, I agree. Like, imagine, sat there waiting for everyone, waiting to kick off a video session or training, and then you're waiting for someone to turn up constantly.
Weird one. Just while we're on the topic of Jadon Sancho, I was going to leave it for Debate Me, but given we're on the topic, I'll quickly just throw it in there. My question to you both is, Jadon Sancho will get a better GA than Rashford, Antony, and Højlund combined by the end of the season.
What's GA for the listeners?
Goals and assists, my friend.
Oh.
Do you have a stat on where they currently are?
Ah.
Because I think they're all pretty low.
They're all very low.
Yeah, they're probably all on at least like maybe 2 each.
Correct, which is why I asked the question. Yeah. Do you reckon Jadon Sancho will get a better GA combined than the three of them?
I actually think Højlund might pull the United side through a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna go like and put them in tiers, I reckon from like 1 to 5 or how many of them there are, I reckon Sancho would be in the top 2. Maybe second. I don't see like Rashford. Maybe he just scored now.
Yeah, he just scored early this morning.
Anthony's
doing fuck all,
fucking
spinning around.
But I like Højlund. I don't know. Weirdly, have a soft spot for the guy.
Both of you do, and it kind of annoys me.
I don't like.
No,
him.
so yeah, don't. He's what? He's bloody 5 years old or something.
Oh, he's a baby.
Yeah, and he's been dropped into that shithole situation. It's just so. I don't know. I feel sorry for him. He doesn't get the service. He's got fidget spinner on one side. You've got Rashford, who you don't know what you're going to get.
No.
Or Iheanacho.
Garnacho.
Iheanacho
used to play for City and then went to Leicester.
Yeah, Leicester.
Yeah.
Iheanacho.
That's a funny one. What do you reckon about the Sancho GA?
I think you're right in terms of Højlund probably pulling it up for United because he's probably the one bright light this season. I know he hasn't scored many goals in the Premier League, but he did in the Champions League.
Have you got a soft spot for Højlund?
Fucking no. Fucking opposite. I would love to see him fail miserably. But I think you're right, Stu. I think he'll probably be in that top 2. I think he'll actually finish ahead of Højlund in terms of GA at the end of the season.
Interesting.
I think given like straight back into the action straight away, he gets an assist. Personally, I just think, he'll be better than the 3 of them.
Yeah. He's definitely feeling the love too, right? Like,
exactly.
If you can play confident football, that's one.
And he's just got this really good connection with Marco Reus.
I fucking love Marco Reus, man. In this day and age, for him to stick it out, I hope he never leaves. Clearly, but
loyal,
very loyal.
Yeah,
hard done by injuries, but
yeah,
it's good on him.
Speaking of people that could or could not leave, going to pivot to Serie A.
Yeah,
Serie
A.
Yeah. I don't know. Roma are down in 9th. They lost again to AC Milan this morning. AC Milan in 3rd.
Who scored Giroud?
On the spot. You've fucked me over. Help.
Sorry, mate.
Help me. Giroud did score, yeah.
Loves a goal. Is there problems at Roma, you reckon?
Theo Hernandez and Parde. I can't pronounce anything. Scored a penalty in the 69th minute for Roma.
It's very interesting. They're well and truly off the pace, aren't they? So they're sitting, you're right, 9th, a total of 29 points into top of the league. They've got actually a 5-point gap on Juventus, sitting first on 51.
Well, Napoli's not far ahead of Roma either.
No, you're absolutely right. They're 2 points. So Napoli are 7th and 32.
What do you reckon it is? Because Napoli, obviously they lost their manager, didn't they? The end of last season.
Spalletti, was it?
Yeah.
Did he leave? I think
he just left, didn't he?
Wanted to leave, yeah.
Oh, he won them the league.
Yeah, he did.
They ran away with the league last year, didn't they?
Yeah, they were playing gorgeous football as well.
Even in the Champions League.
Oh,
yeah.
They were very good.
The guy from Georgia, I'm not going to bother.
Kvaratskhelia.
There you go. Is that actually how it's pronounced? Because everyone just calls him Kvara. Kvara.
I call him Kvaradona.
There you go, Kvaradona.
But yeah, freak. Osserman was a freak last year.
Well,
they still have Dries Mertens.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure
Galatasaray.
Correct. I'm pretty sure he's in Turkey. Yeah.
Is the writing on the wall for Mr. Mourinho? Is he going to Saudi?
Not sure. You said last week, Ben, that he's in love with the football club and they're in love with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not really sure. I hope he doesn't go to Saudi. I just personally think that he's better than Saudi. Would love to see him stay in Europe. Would love to see him manage a Champions League team again.
Do you reckon he could go to Barca?
Nah.
Oh, wow. Could you imagine that?
Could you imagine that?
He could in a weird world, yeah, I guess.
I mean, he went from Chelsea to Spurs.
True, and then to United.
What a weird career arc.
Stranger things have happened.
True.
I mean, Rafa Benitez.
Where did he end up?
Everton
and Liverpool, right?
Bloody weird, yeah. Won us the Champions League. 10 years later, went and did nothing for him at Everton.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with him.
Yeah, it is. But I think we should wrap it up there.
Yeah.
For the segment.
Nothing goes on in Ligue 1 anyway.
Nothing other than is Mbappe staying? Is he leaving? Where's he going?
Bro.
Who knows?
No, I'm emotionally drained after that then. I need a break.
So do I. Shall we cop?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
You all ready? It's been a while.
For?
Guess. Struum, what's next?
Debate me softly.
Oh, he said it so softly.
Sorry.
You are absolutely right, Stu. It is time for Debate Me Softly.
You are the winner, which means Dylan's about to present you with the first
Question.
debate topic.
Hell yeah, I am. Let's go.
Statement.
So the first, question / statement, whatever you want to call it, is KDB the greatest Premier League midfielder of all time? First, I just want a yes or no there, firstly. Right now, is he the greatest Premier League midfielder of all time? Yes or no?
No.
No.
Okay, because I thought you both would say that. Do you think KDB will be the greatest Premier League midfielder of all time by the time he retires or leaves the Premier League?
Don't know. That's so subjective because like there's different types of midfield roles.
Do I think he could be if he continues playing like how he did yesterday or the day before, like quite consistently?
Are we all on the KDB hype because he's just been injured for like 2 months, 3 months, and like this is like what he did is just normal KDB. We're all hyping it because you haven't seen it in like 2 months.
But the fact that that's normal KDB is pretty insane too, though.
He's
Hence
won,
the question.
Yeah.
He's like won the Premier League Player of the Year twice in the last 5 years. No one has ever won it more than twice. There's only a handful of players.
Who has won it twice?
I remember Thierry Henry has.
Yep.
I think Liverpool player has won it. No, no Liverpool player has won it twice.
Mo?
No, he's won
Michael
it once. Yes, Van Dijk and I think Gerrard are the 4 Liverpool players that have won it.
I'm surprised Suarez didn't win it.
Oh, maybe Suarez. Maybe Gerrard didn't win it. I remember looking it up yesterday, but there's not that many anyway. No one's ever won it 3 times. Saying that, I don't know if it's just it's like such a subjective position, really. Do you involve wingers? Because technically that's a midfielder, or you've got a forward winger, but you've got a holding mid, you've got an attacking midfielder, you've got box to box.
Okay, but then how come every time we talk about greatest player in Premier League history, everyone always refers to goal scorers? Why do they have to be strikers?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Well, that also the Premier League player of the season kind of speaks to that as well. There's only one goalkeeper that's ever won it. Don't know if either of you could guess this.
There's only one goalkeeper who's ever won it.
Yep. Nope.
Do you want to tell me the year that they won it?
In 1996.
Oh, Seaman.
No.
Oh, the fucking
Played for Man U.
United
Schmeichel.
one.
Schmeichel.
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh. Yes. And then defenders have won it, but not that many of them. And then the rest, strikers, midfielders. Mostly strikers. Like you say, goals. Goals are more appreciated. Maybe it's quantifiable.
The thing is, goals win you games, defense win you titles. So I would argue that a defender is more valuable than a striker. We're going down a rabbit hole here.
Okay, so would you say he's the best midfielder of the Premier League? Like, has ever graced the Premier League?
I think by the time that he's done, I think he will be.
You reckon?
I think so.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's coming from a Liverpool fan who's Steven Gerrard there.
Yeah, I think if I'm being completely honest with you, he's probably already surpassed Stevie G in terms of at least his GA.
Are you sick?
No, I'm being serious. Like, don't get me wrong, Steven Gerrard is like my idol. I love the guy. But Kevin De Bruyne just has insane technical ability.
Yeah.
Like, insane, bro. You know?
Okay. That kind of speaks to something here because I'd say De Bruyne, he could play a bit deeper. He can also be on the wing. He's not pacey, but you obviously can smash a ball in. Then he can be attacking midfielder or box to box. It's a bit like Gerrard as well. Gerrard played numerous different positions. He actually was a bit further back and then eventually made his way
That is true.
behind the striker, which was really fun to watch, actually.
Yeah, that striker being Fernando Torres, which made it even more fun to watch.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
that was great, actually.
Yeah.
So is he City's greatest ever player?
Oh, that's hard it's hard because, again, when you talk about what defines the greatest player, everyone's going to go to goals. And when you think City, you think goals, you think Aguero. Also the title-winning moment, like, just to add some context behind it.
I'd say Vincent Kompany at the moment.
Yeah, that's also a really good shout.
Then you got Yara Toure as well, was unreal.
David Silva was unreal.
Oh, God.
Like, underrated as fuck still.
Yeah.
Also a midfielder.
Yeah.
I don't know. You've got Roy Keane. You've got Patrick Vieira.
Scholes.
Lampard
For sure. because Lampard had the
Goals
goals
coming
and
forward.
assists as well. It's going to be a tough one, but I think he's definitely in the conversation. Considering no one can really agree on it now, it's just a crazy conversation to have. But to be in it, he's definitely in it.
Is he the best Premier League player of the last 5 years?
Tough to say. He's been great. Mo's been great.
See, I actually would argue that Mo has been better than KDB over a 5-year period.
Well, no, because Mo's only won the Premier League Player of the Season once.
Yeah,
in
true.
that period, and Kevin De Bruyne. That's why I was kind of looking up
But in the title-winning year, who won it? When we won the title in 2019, 2020, who won it? I'm pretty sure it was KDB.
sometimes weird shit happens like that.
But that's the
doesn't it, as
thing. Like, I don't necessarily agree with things like these particular awards. What actually does matter, though, is winning championships.
Yeah.
And in the last 5 years, obviously, KDB's won more titles than Mo has.
well. But would De Bruyne influence a game more than Salah?
Just
thinking about
it's
it.
so hard. Like, it's such a hard question because obviously they're playing different positions in different systems as well. The thing is, Mo's GA has just been incredible over a 5-6 year period. De Bruyne's assists have been incredible over that period. His goals, not so much. The thing is, Mo's been doing it with goals and assists.
I guess, again, that it can be subjective because they're playing in different, like you say, different positions. Like Salah would be technically closer to the box anyway, like closer to the goal, whereas De Bruyne would be orchestrating from further back.
Just quickly, do you want a quick comparison between KDB and Mo Salah? This is only in the Premier League in all seasons that they've played in the Premier League. Funnily enough, it's very similar in terms of appearances. So KDB's played 244 and Mo's played 251. Goals in that time, Mo's had 153, KDB 65. And assists, KDB's at 103 and Mo 67.
So they're just flipped. They're very similar numbers.
Well, no,
Or has-
actually. I think Mo Salah's well and truly way ahead of KDB. Without actual numbers, 65, 103, that's 168 for KDB, GA.
Yeah.
Mo's got 153 goals alone.
Oh, shit. So he's in like the 190s or something.
No,
Oh,
he's
no,
in the 200s,
200,
man, yeah. In 251 appearances as well. It's incredible output, man.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
I don't like. Definitely, Liverpool didn't know they were going to get that.
God, no. But also, as if City knew what they were getting when they signed KDB. He was
Yeah,
he
true.
was good at Wolfsburg, but he wasn't this level good.
No.
Well, they both went through the Chelsea factory of doom.
Yeah. And came out on the other end and fucking sitting there laughing at Chelsea now.
Do you know who probably has been the best player though? We haven't discussed Mustafi.
Squadron. Squadron Mustafi. Oh my God. Don't remind me of those days, man.
His YouTube clips could probably save the world through humour alone. Any wars going on, send in the 10-minute YouTube clip of Mustafi falling over or hacking someone down. There you
Jeez.
go. How many penalties has Mo Salah given away? Not as many as
Not
Mustafi.
as many. No, he's probably scored just as many penalties as Mustafi's given away. Just to close this one out before we go into the next question, we started on the KDB and if he's the best PL Premier League midfielder of all time. Kind of went down a rabbit hole and came to this point here where we're now comparing KDB and Mo Salah. Obviously, I'm a Liverpool fan, so I'm very biased. If I had to pick between the two, I'd pick Mo. But I'm very interested to get the perspective of you two as Arsenal fans. If you had to pick one of the two, KDB or Arsenal, or KDB or Mo Salah, who would you choose? And then why?
It is tough, actually.
You've made a compelling case.
I would like to see their injury history, and I feel like Mo never gets injured.
Mo, yeah, very, very.
And I know
rarely.
we're just talking about KDB coming off an injury, so that's
Yeah.
you can't really just include that. But I don't know. I don't think he gets injured too much either. I know he came off Champions League final, didn't he?
He did, but that was because of the Ramos tackle.
Oh no, even KDB.
KDB, sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. He did. Even in the one against Chelsea, I'm pretty sure he had to come off, yeah.
Fuck, that's tough. After you put their numbers up, that is tough. I feel like I'd take Mo away. He just gets it done. But if you're talking about goals and assists, because they're attacking players, we're not going to talk about defensive ability. The influence on game is clear, right?
It's light and day, in my
Yeah.
opinion. But again, I say that as a Liverpool fan, which is why I asked you both the question. Ben, what are you saying?
I don't know, honestly. I don't know if he'd have more influence behind, like, further back. In terms of, like, watching, I think I prefer watching De Bruyne.
Yep.
Like, just watching. But
Fair enough.
when you put it in that context of someone being able to come in and just bang in goals or put it on a plate for someone, maybe I'd take him. As an Arsenal fan that's needed someone to bang in goals.
That's right, yeah.
that would probably.
Yeah, but the thing with Mo, it's not just about the goals. It was in the first few seasons.
But
He's really focused on his assists as well.
Mo can turn a game on its head if he's got the ball. De Bruyne orchestrates a game.
Correct.
Like
but that's because of positional play, right?
But that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It depends what you want, kind
Yeah.
of thing. So like I'm saying, if having someone like Salah, you could be like Liverpool numerous occasions this year, for instance, as well, have been a goal down or something, and he just comes up clutch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whereas De Bruyne has been influencing games, and doing, it's like the hockey assist they talk about in America. It's like maybe it's the pass before the assist kind of thing and stuff like that. It's like really dictating play. They do it in different ways. One is directly influencing things, and the other one is like indirectly influencing. So I don't know. I wasn't expecting this conversation to go like this.
Nor was I, actually.
Yeah.
The beauty of doing things like this over a podcast, right? You pivot and move in every which way. Just quickly, just on the KDB versus Mo Salah talk and debate, the 103 assists that Kevin De Bruyne has got playing in the Premier League has happened over 12,337 passes. The 67 assists that Mo's got has happened over 7,359 passes.
But it goes to the different positions again, though, doesn't it?
It
So I'm
does.
saying,
Yeah,
like, you're
you're right.
orchestrating from deeper, you're naturally going to have more touches.
Yep.
And that's what I meant with like Mo being clutch, because he doesn't need the ball all the time. Some of these balls are being just popped over to him, and then he's just across the goal pass. It's just a different type. I think that's what's made this conversation really hard, is because the way they do things is just completely different.
No, I absolutely agree. In a perfect world, you take both. So suck at Chelsea because they had both at one stage.
Oh no, that's
That was a good way to end that conversation.
Anyways, we will move on that note. This one's in relation to Barca legend Xavi. Do you reckon that he will be the Barcelona manager by the end of the season?
No.
That was very quick. That was like super quick.
I'm on the board. I'm on the Barca board. No, it'll be a tougher decision for them because he is a Barcelona legend. But, if he wasn't, do you reckon he would still have his job?
If he was in the Premier League, nah.
Oh, that's such a good question. He won the La Liga last year. We forget that he won
That's true.
La Liga last year.
That is true.
Yeah, maybe we're jumping the gun a bit, eh? But at the same time, like what are they sitting fourth?
They're sitting fourth, but also they get battered in the Super Cup, and they love to concede goals for fun this year. And then he just turns around and says, "I need more money."
What's his contract? Do you know when it ends? I don't think they'd even have the money to pay the guy out.
Yeah, it's a good shout.
Yeah.
They just sell another part of the new camp to Spotify or to whomever will take it. I don't know what to expect. I personally think he's going to be gone at the end of it. The hardest part is like trying to figure out who's going to replace him. De Zerbi?
That's such a big jump too, though. Brighton to fucking Barcelona.
But like we said in the first part of the pod, he only managed in the Middle East before.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned as well, he's there by association.
Yeah, the history, right?
I have a feeling he's got like 2 or 3 years left in his contract.
His contract is due to expire on the 30th of June 2025. So
And was that his initial deal? I wonder. Because
he was appointed on the 6th of November 2021.
Oh.
It's low key become a place where players go to die as well, in terms of some of them just at the end of their career, like Lewandowski and stuff, like
And
great
Gundogan
season
as well.
Yeah, Gundogan's still good.
Still good, but like he's old.
Well, they spent all that money on Rafinha.
Yeah.
Rafinha, yeah, true. That is
Not
true.
very good. Ferran
Ferran Torres as well,
Yeah.
yep.
Money.
In his 118 matches in charge as Barcelona manager, he's got a points per match of 2.05, which is not too bad.
That's good.
His percentage as win manager, 61.93.
That's not that bad. It's not terrible.
Are you jumping the gun here?
Potentially. But they're just restless in general, aren't they, Barca? I think they're just panicking because they've got no money. They don't know if they see the writing on the wall or if it's just not.
Do you not like Barcelona? Sitting the opposite side of the table from you over the past however long it's been since we're doing the podcast, it really feels like you have a bitterness towards Barcelona.
I hate Barca.
06.
They took fucking Henri and they took Cesc Fabregas from me.
There it is.
But at the same time, I still appreciate the football.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, especially a decade ago. That was insane. I have no problem there. I'm just interested. My bitterness actually comes more from the Super League stuff for them because they're cash strapped and they're shit at spending money. So then they want to turn football on its head. That's what pisses me off. But then it's the same thing again. It's like they got this money and they try and tap everyone up. But then nothing's really come of it.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm by no means the biggest fan of Barcelona either. They've taken massive players from us in the past. As a Liverpool fan, my proudest moment against Barcelona was obviously the comeback, the 4-3 at Anfield, or 4-0 at Anfield, 4-3 in aggregate by the end of it. But I personally think that we might be jumping the gun here with Xavi, because when you look at the stats, they're not too bad. I know that they're sitting fourth in the league right now, and obviously when you talk about Barcelona and the levels that they aspire to, it's first in the league, going deep in Champions League. But every team, goes through transitional periods, and maybe this is just that.
Yep.
Although, to your point, Ben, you can't win the league and then go through a transitional period the following year. Where's the planning?
Well, that's the thing. With some of the players that they bought or the money that they've spent, barring the older players, which maybe some of those are a bit stopgappy, or to help set principles and a foundation, you would have thought that was there to build off from last year.
Yeah, strange. I mean, looking at where they are now, just halfway through the year, I'd say if they finish in a Champions League spot, they probably just take that as a pass mark. But like that for Barcelona, is that enough? I don't know. It depends on their financial situation. If they finish outside of the top four, like there's no chance he keeps his job.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Agreed.
It depends where they finish, right? But then again, how long do you wait? Who's even there to manage? Like who's an option to get in?
Maybe some of this is pressure from the fact Girona are currently top of the league, and it's kind of shaken things up a bit. Because you've even got Atletico Madrid sat in fifth in the Liga.
Because Bilbao's third.
Yeah, third. And you've got Real Sociedad not far behind as well. And they're no slouches. They're doing really well in the Champions League.
It's good to see, because historically La Liga has just been Barcelona, Madrid, and every now and again Atletico will pop their hand up and say, what about me? It's good to actually see that, you have the likes of Girona sitting top, Bilbao third, Sociedad in and amongst it. And then you've obviously still got your Atletico, your Barcelona, and your Real wedged in between those. It'll be interesting to see how the season plays out. Just to close out, I don't personally think he's going to get sacked. I think you're saying he will, Ben?
I just think the sentiment there, or some of the stuff you read about, and the stuff Fabrizio Romano's posting on Twitter doesn't really fill you with confidence. But that's maybe it. I think some of it's just the rumblings. Whenever I've watched them, they haven't looked fantastic. But I just don't know. But saying that, if they finished third and get Champions League spot, and they're still in the Copa del Rey, and they've got Napoli in the Champions League, and Napoli are also in dire straits too. So, this could easily flip on its head and they could find some form. They just need to stop leaking goals. Now I'm on the fence. Become Switzerland.
Just on that, on Barcelona and conceding goals, funny stat, they concede a goal every 78 minutes this season, which I find quite interesting. So it's at least won a game.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Testament to the fact that they're sitting fourth, given that the defensive record isn't where it needs to be for a team who should be sitting 1 or 2 in the league.
They're still beating Atletico this year. They've beaten Sociedad away.
Yeah, true. They lost to Real in the league, though. That was when Bellingham scored the double.
Yeah. Barca missed a lot of chances on that one as well. They kind of got outplayed for the most part of that game.
Yeah, they played that game at home as well.
Yeah, it could be a blip. I don't know. Now I'm flip-flopping.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm a fraud.
I've changed my mind.
Let's
Seize out the season.
Let's see how it pans out, huh?
Yeah.
Shall we move on to the third and final question?
Do it.
All right. Ben, I'm going to throw over to you.
No.
Because
I refuse.
Before we went live today, we had a very interesting conversation, didn't we? Do you remember what it was about?
No.
It was about challenges and VAR.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So before we get into it, do you want to just give us a rundown of what our conversation was about?
Yeah, so for the listeners, I was telling Dylan about a podcast I was listening to. It's the one with Gary Lineker and Micah Richards and Alan Shearer.
This is football?
I think so, something like that. I can't remember.
That is something like that. The rest is football.
The rest is football. They mentioned on their podcast, well, I think it's Gary Lineker, said that what if VAR had just one challenge only, or this is his solution to fixing it, is maybe instead of everything being able to be reviewed, you can get one challenge per team, and if your challenge is correct, you keep your challenge. But they were saying that maybe this will reduce, one, it going to VAR, and two, teams looking for it as well.
It's a really good point, and something that's worked very successfully in other sports. So just for the listeners, and just to draw some points of references, in footy they have challenges, so the captain can decide whether they go to the bunker will then review, and then provide a decision. It works in cricket. We see teams challenge calls that umpires make. It then goes to the DRS, and the DRS will check it and then go back to the on-field umpire. It's also previously worked in tennis before they had technology where everything's automatic. They had challenges. Yeah.
They'd send it up.
And exactly. And we'd see the Hawkeye. So,
NFL and NBA both have challenge flag.
Thank you. There you go.
NFL has a flag.
The other thing that I forgot to mention, which I thought was really good as well, is there's a 30-second time limit on VAR. So on that review, there's 30 seconds.
Yep. So after the incident, you've got X amount of time.
No, and the review can only go on for 30 seconds as well. You've got 30 seconds to review it.
So that's where I don't necessarily agree, because if you want it to work and if you want the challenges to work, you need to respect that they need time to review the actual incident.
But they also need to get better at it, because it took 3.5 minutes the other day for that goal to be disallowed.
Yeah.
For Villa.
You'd love to hear what they're talking about, right? Because sometimes you see it and then you know it, and they've shown it.
Yep.
But they'll take another 2 minutes.
And
so
again,
you'd love to hear the conversation they're having sometimes.
That's why it works so well in the footy.
Yeah.
If you've ever been to the footy, you can even hear it when you're watching it on TV. The bunker announces it to everyone in the ground, what's happening. So there's full visibility over the decision.
Well, some of this will be reduced anyway by bringing in the semi-automatic offsides. For instance, the Super Cup this morning, they were so good at reviewing it. It took like fraction of the time it would take the Premier League, and they were like, "Oh, quick! Here's a little AI thing." And then, he's clearly onside. Yep. Let's move on with our lives. That will reduce half of the mess anyway.
I agree. I think the philosophy behind the challenges work. For one, it will reduce the amount of stoppages in the game, which ultimately reduces the amount of stoppage time at the end of the game and, the end of the first half. Secondly, it makes it a little bit more interesting, doesn't it? And also, it puts a bit more pressure on the captain to, get it right and say, no, I want to challenge the call.
Well, it stops the funny business as well, right? Because then, if you've got people fucking around at the start of the game and, it's a half challenge kind of thing, then, you're not going to do it. It's not going to slow the game down.
Yeah.
Or if people are going down easily in the box, for instance, instead of them falling over, knowing that it's going to get reviewed in slow-mo, making it look worse, and then that's like, oh, maybe it did touch them, but, was that touch really enough? It's like, well, they touched him. So, no, technically that's a penalty. They wouldn't go down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we did have the semi-offside technology, or the automated offside technology, then ultimately the decisions that captains would challenge would be contact challenges, right?
Pretty much. Or, things that are going on in front of goal.
Yeah.
Like, stuff like that, yeah.
I'm actually a big advocate for it, personally. Especially if you have offside, because offside's one of the things, technology needs to be in place for offsides, because you can't rely on human eye to get it right every time. So that needs to stay in the game.
Well, the thing is, it's not even that. It's the fact that it's already out there and it's implemented in other leagues and it works well. And then it's just, oh no, we don't want to implement it.
I'll tell you another thing that they need to get right, and you two Arsenal boys will love it. They need technology that tracks where if the ball is in play or outside of the field of play. Similar to what they have with if the ball crosses the line when it goes behind the net.
How does that?
How does it not
extend
exactly
to
right.
at least the whole goal? Not the goal. What do you call
the byline?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It's like they've already done it with a fucking rectangle in tennis. So why can't they do it on a bigger rectangle?
Exactly, because now you don't need to challenge it. You don't need to challenge anymore. Everything is completely automated.
Put it on the watch, little buzzer.
Yeah, when the ball hasn't crossed the line for a goal, or if it has crossed the line just for a goal, it comes up on their watch. I don't see why they can leave. It would take away so many stupid discussions and arguments.
That's the thing, It's like they want to leave things up to interpretation because it creates this, where everyone's...
God, what we talk about, the podcast will be 10 minutes. We'd be like,
we need some controversy.
Yeah, Cole Palmer scored a penalty again. Anyway, see you next week.
Arsenal lost again. Yep, sitting fourth. Yep, sounds right.
Well, it doesn't work if we keep losing. We go beyond fourth.
That is true.
Correct.
That is true.
Remember when we got it really wrong a couple of seasons ago and we doubled that and ended up in 8th? Wasn't very fun.
So quickly, before we do round up, challenges, yes or no, Stu? What are you saying?
Yeah, I actually wouldn't mind it. I think if they did it the right way, which I don't know what the right way is, but I think it would be cool.
And yourself, Ben?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, and I absolutely agree. Yeah, I think it's something that takes away from the bullshit in the game from what we see now. But again, the caveats to that is, like I said, we need offside technology needs to be in play at all time, and tracking if the ball's in the field of play and outside the field of play is something that should already be in the game.
But they've got to think of these things because kids have got less attention spans than ever. So
Yeah.
you can keep slowing the game down. They're not going to keep watching the product.
Yeah.
That's true. It's a good point. I mean, I'll always keep watching the product because I love the thing. I love the sport no matter what. Unfortunately, even with VAR, you know,
Yeah,
I'll
we're
still
looked in for
tune in.
life.
Yeah.
We've been watching for too long.
Yeah. But I do hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all the questions I had, guys.
Well, you know what we're going to do now?
What's that?
We're going to wrap things up. So for the listeners out there, if you enjoyed the episode, please like, subscribe,
Yes.
rate us on podcast platforms, all that fun stuff. And we'll see you all next week.
Thank you. Goodbye. Goodbye. Bye.